Hey guys, Veebat here with another feed plays, and today we are going to be looking at a premium aircraft known as the BF-110 C-6. Now, I definitely liked my BF-110 at Tier 4, and I was contemplating buying it back, but I had run into some gold recently from all those other purchases I made. They give you gold typically as mission rewards, and I'm like, you know what? A Tier 4 premium wouldn't be a bad move for me to be able to grind out some of those lower tier missions. Ones that the Focke-Wulf 5.7 has trouble with for being able to do those dailies, because those missile bases don't always pop up, or the military bases don't always pop up for Tier 3. They pop up more often when you're looking at Tier 4. So I figured it was time to buckle down and give this thing a shot, and it works as a great crew trainer for my German ground attacker line, because I can go in and put my tail gunner in here and boost him up. Now, what's unique about this aircraft is that massive cannon shell coming out from underneath the aircraft. Now, it's hard to make it make contact, but this is an anti-tank cannon. It was a 30 millimeter like howitzer. Like, this thing is just absolutely monstrous when it comes to the amount of damage it can pump out. Now, I don't think it's actually a howitzer. It's just a large cannon shell, but anything that was meant to dive down and take out a tank with a cannon shell, this is definitely going to be some heavy hitting power. And while its damage per second is 120 damage per second, which is the same as all four of the 792s put together, this thing really does clip away a large amount of health every time it makes contact. In addition to that, it has a range of well over 3,000 feet. 3,446, I believe, which is just monstrous. It's totally a sniper rifle. So this thing is really good for taking out high hit point aircraft. Now, it can definitely go out there and dogfight and, well, dogfight. It can dogfight other heavies, and then it can boom and zoom all your fighters, and it can definitely boom on that zoom as long as you can get that cannon to make contact. But if you want to go after a ground attacker, or you want to go after a bomber and you settle in behind them with this cannon, they are going to disappear very quickly. Here I'm going to decide to try and get away from the enemy. I'm just going to get out of here, nose down, throttle. Oh, what's this guy? What are you doing? You know what? Forget it. I want to kill you. 1, 2 cannon shells, and the Bristol is gone. And that's the power of this cannon, and it just, I love that instant derp. It reminds me of the KV-2 from World of Tanks. It's just so much fun. I wish there was just a regular airplane that had this type of derp power, and I think the 152 might be similar. The TA-152, German Tier 8 fighter. Ooh, you were getting low, 5.7, but I'm behind you, and I'm gonna settle in. There it is. Massive amounts of damage on that aircraft, and then I see this AR-80, and I decide that I'm going to take a couple pot shots at him, and you can see just a few shells making contact from that cannon, and he is a goner. I'm just having a great time with this thing, and at Tier 4, a BF-110 really is king of the hill when it comes to heavy fighter aircraft. It just does so much better than a lot of its peers. The Americans don't even have a heavy at this point, and then when you take a look at the Brit counterpart with the Blenheim is more of a pseudo bomber than it is an actual heavy fighter, so you really do have free reign at a higher altitude in this aircraft. And the only thing I need to worry about is another BF-110 C-6, which we're looking at right here. But, oh, that hit. He is gone. It's almost like I criticaled him, hit him right in the center of the fuselage, ripped him in half. So we have the airfield pretty much handled, but I noticed that they were starting to grab this garrison down here, so I figured I'd help my buddies out and do what I could to try and finish this zone and at least get it over to our side, opposed to, excuse me, letting the enemy go ahead and get in here and take it. Oh, connected. Just absolutely excellent to see that happen. Now this is not as impressive. He was already pretty low. I don't even think I got the kill on that one. No, I don't think I did. But absolutely decimated him. Now we're going to head back to the middle and see what there is what there is to do over there. Not seeing anything so far. This thing sits pretty comfortably at around 5,500 feet. Does alright. Cruises around 280. It's not too bad, but it can definitely boost up to well over 300 or dive into that speed, especially with the improved polish, giving it decent acceleration as well as a better top speed. We see that Blenheim yet again, so let's do what this thing's meant to do. Oh wow, that was like 160 damage hit. Let's get another one. Yep. So I'd say it's probably 130 damage, because I think that the gun fires, it's a little bit longer than a second. You hear it's boom, boom. I'm counting another Mississippi in between. Like there's a little bit more than just a Mississippi in between those counts. So I think that this thing definitely has a little bit more damage per hit than the 120 that it would imply based on the 120 per second. So there's a fire rate consideration here that we need to take into account. Now they managed to take this garrison, which upsets me. This is my garrison, you can't take my garrison. I was heading all the way over here. So I'm gonna try and flip this back over. I'm gonna try diving on this Tush 3. Here's a solid hit. That one looked like it was 120. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it is just 120 a hit. But even still, 120 a hit at tier 4 is nothing to turn your nose up at, considering that this aircraft as a heavy only has 300 hit points. So just think about what the counterparts out here rocking for total hit points. There you go. There's an HE 51 with only 100 hit points. So one connection from that shell in a critical spot will do full damage, and it knocked him out. Taking out those aircraft put us almost to completely capturing the zone. We're trying to snipe out this target. Where's that sweet spot? There it is. Man, that rocked him. And then we got the other shell to hit. And now we have flipped the zone. It's air supremacy. We got heavy fighter grade 2. We started to stall out a little bit, but just a little bit of boost was able to kick that nose over and maintain control of the aircraft. Now let's head towards the middle and see if there's anything we can do to help our allies out, or at least be able to eke out a few more points as this battle winds down. We're going to be hammering down the boost, so we'll get to see the potential of the aircraft as I try to get towards the battlefield, just flying it straight and level, 326 miles per hour with full boost. Not too bad, enough to be able to manipulate battlefields in this tier 4 environment. Would like to go after that Blenheim, but let's try and get the nose down, and I don't think it's going to happen. Nope, game over. Alright, not too bad. I'll catch you guys at the end result screen. Alright, so like I said, this thing is a premium aircraft, so you are going to be raking in a pretty decent amount of credits. I was able to get 200,000, a little bit less than, for a premium account, and for a non-premium it would have brought in about 155,000, which is not too bad. The experience for the pilot, since I am converting all my crew experience into pilot, or all of my game XP into crew XP for my pilot and gunner, you can see we got a substantial boost for each one of those guys. And in addition to that, you're seeing that we were playing to our role. We were destroying aerial targets, we were capturing sectors. There was only 3 2 captures, so we captured all 3 of those and obviously air supremacied out of that battle, and we were able to achieve 260 capture points. We managed to get the McGuire medal, which shows that we were definitely doing our capping job like we were supposed to be. We were number 1 for our team, although boozing over here, I do not know what a model 81A1 is. I'm going to have to look that up now. But the BF-110 C-6 is a pretty decent airframe. It's a very odd aircraft. I did like my BF-110, especially the Tier 4 variant, so I felt like a premium would be a good way to go in order to replace that. But I guess I saw the 30 millimeter cannon on there and I thought, oh, it's just going to behave like any other 30 millimeter cannon, but it does not. This thing is meant to take out tanks. It is an anti-tank cannon, so even though it's a 30 millimeter, it behaves very much like a sniper rifle, and you guys saw how that thing was working in that battle, just picking away at range with that massive burst damage. And for a tier 4 plane to be able to do 120 damage per second, that is not too bad. I'm not sure what the damage per shell works out to be, but you saw that I was able to chunk away quite a bit of health on quite a few different heavy hit point airframes, and it just absolutely decimates things. Now, it is augmented by having 4 7.92 machine guns, which again do 120 damage per second, so you're looking at a total of 240 damage per second on a tier 4. I'm not going to turn my nose up at that. Now, the tail gunner is nothing to write home about with a 7.92 tail gunner, but since it is rocking defensive fire from my ME329 crew member. Oh, and I got an extra crew point, so I can go ahead and throw in my quick reflexes. I've been waiting to get on this guy for a while. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. So, yeah, this thing's an odd duck. I like it. I'm still getting used to it, but it definitely can do the job that it was intended to do, which is to take out those big beefy targets at range. And this thing's effective fire range out to 3,443 feet. This thing is a sniper rifle at any tier. This is just an absolutely ungodly range, and it would be nice if there was something like this at higher tier. I know that there was some aircraft that were developed with monster anti-tank cannons, but to use them against aircraft is just squirrely. I do enjoy it. I think I've said that like 5 times now, so if you guys like it, I don't know, it's pretty cheap. I think it was 1,100 gold, which is not too bad, considering that there's usually some good deals for getting some cheap gold here and there. And for a tier 4 premium to grind out a pretty decent amount of credits, as you saw earlier, not a bad move to make. And it also works as a great crew trainer for not only a pilot but also a tail gunner. So it's something for you to look out for if you are going to be going out after the ground attacker line for the Germans. And as always, guys, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and I'll catch you on the next one.